This body. This body. This body.
In the beginning of the stream.
Okay. Can't get rid of an idea. It will always spread, even if in a comical form, being in comedy and stuff like that. So.
Okay, so I put the advertisement out on Facebook and Twitter. Just sign on. Just log on to my Twitch if you haven't already. And then we'll begin.
Okay.
Okay, so I wasn't planning to start the stream this way because I only found out 15 minutes ago that you got banned from Facebook for a week for posting a Hitler meme.
Yeah.
What's funny though, what's ironic, and this just happened like 2 or 3 nights ago. I've been working at my writing job. And I was watching a bunch of Watch Mojo videos 2 or 3 nights ago while, so I had some background noise, to listen to while I was working on articles.
Okay.
And and one of the videos that came up from Watch Mojo was the top 10 sitcoms that were so bad they were canceled after 1 episode.
Oh, like the Hitler series, was it High Hail to Hitler from 1990?
High Hail Mom, yeah. Where Hitler was like living in current day. He lived next to like a Jewish couple.
Yeah, I saw that on YouTube. I was like, wow, there's such a TV show back then. You don't see that.
It had to be in the 70s because the sitcom was in color.
Well, it's back in 1990, early 1990s that came out.
Okay, so even in the 90s. Who in the right mind thought that show was not going to upset people? Who in the right mind thought this is what will make a bang? Yeah, it'll make a bang when people are shooting down your doors. When they find out you were responsible for writing that. But yes, I think it was sitcoms so bad they were canceled after 1 episode, and whatever that show was that featured Hitler like in today's world or the 90s world was the number 1 video.
Mm-hmm.
The number 1 sitcom that Watch Mojo chose. And I'm just like, how did people think this was going to work? The idea itself sounds ridiculous. And then 2-3 days later, you post a Hitler meme and get banned for a week on Facebook.
Oh yeah, and beforehand I was posting other like photo-related memes on my personal Facebook profile, and there was not much hash or conflict with other users. So it must be like one of those automation things they put on by Hitler. Like any hardcore Hitler-related material, it must be ousted now. Because that's the last time I posted anything about Hitler. So things definitely changed over the years with Facebook.
Yeah, so I mean, it's on one hand, I don't know who would get offended by the meme. If you get offended by the meme, just don't pay attention to it, really.
Of course.
But Facebook, Twitter, other tech, they're throwing around their weight, which is why we have Gab, which is why we have Minds, which is why we have BitChute.
Definitely.
The whole reason these websites started, the whole reason we had these other websites is because the mainstream ones started throwing their weight away.
Definitely.
And rightfully so, they could do that, but when you piss someone off to the point where they join another site that's just like yours, good luck on them ever coming back.
And you know what's funny too? Sometimes the newer websites, depending on which one you go to, they can implement the same type of restrictions, if not further, even more restricted, like that of Parler, because they don't allow you to show any hardcore sexualized type of content like that of Hitler or of some waifus from like the anime artwork that you see on Twitter or on other parts of the internet. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so,
that's at the time though. So hopefully they'll lax the restriction or the policies because they're still making their new website Parler. So.
Yeah, but I mean, what these mainstream tech giants don't understand is once you push enough people off, once you censor enough people, and they go somewhere else, the only way they'll ever even consider coming back is if the grass is so much browner on the other side.
Browner.
So much more brown. You know, they always say the grass is greener on the other side. Well, the grass would have to be browner for them to want to come back to a place that banned them in the first place.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay, so let's see. What was the first thing I had on the schedule? Cyberpunk 27 mod can hack your PC. The virus that just keeps on infecting, I guess.
Definitely.
I don't know. Did you ever download mods for games? I could never get them to work for me.
Well, I did it a couple of times with Alien vs. Predator 2, a 2001 video game, and the servers got shut down publicly back in 2008. And as of like 2018, they still have like private servers. Usually like a server patch to tap into it with the program, and you can play of various, like at least up to like 30 servers available as of last year or two. So, and I played it. Last time I played it was like at least 3 other players in the server, but that's it. So that's the only time I really did anything with a mod or with any game with a mod or whatever. So.
Okay, I've never really played mods or even emulated like current games. I always was emulating like Nintendo 64 and like retro games, but I never got the mods to work. Like if I had to mod, like I wanted to mod WWF No Mercy and play Field of Bang, which was a WCW mod.
Right.
And I couldn't get that to work. I found a TNA mod. I couldn't get it to work. All the characters looked weird, and all the WWF arenas remained. So I didn't have the mod correct. I didn't have the mod situated correctly. But I mean, who would want to? But I mean, did you hear anything about these mods actually making Cyberpunk 2077 better, or was it just?
From what I heard, from various users on YouTube comment sections, especially the YouTube comment sections like that of well-mentioned YouTubers, but they explain that it helps a little bit. You know, it proves the experience much better in a sense. So if you have like say a lot of glitches or mishaps in your original Cyberpunk game, you can add mods to it that was created within the last few weeks after it was released. But now all of a sudden, the CD Projekt Red is being sued, and Project Red, I'm hearing, also trying to put a hold on new mods coming into the PC version, at least that. So, from what I found out, so I don't know the whole details exactly, but let's just say that it's a cluster, a cluster F, in the cluster, cluster luck in this part of the game industry. So.
Okay, I mean, so the mods can make the game work better, at least a little bit. But now they can hack your PC and listen. Just they tried to make Cyberpunk 2077. You tried to make mods to make it better. Can we just let this game die already?
It's only been 2 months since it's released, so it's gonna take some time to die because people still play it. Hey, I want the pop, and now you can on Amazon. Now you can go on the Amazon website, buy it for $30 for Xbox One. So
yes, and they were selling the PlayStation Classic for $19.99 or $39.99 at Walmart. It doesn't mean you go out and spend your hard-earned money.
Well, if you want to see the bull crap or the bull in the game, might as well try it out. See how screwed up the game is, Because look at how Angry Joe's gameplay and review of Cyberpunk. A car came out of nowhere and just destroyed like part of a light pole and people around and stuff like that, and people still walking. It's like, what's going on here? And there's this other YouTuber, Ackman, who showed various YouTubers and streamers of their coverage and their footage of the game, and all the people on the streets were walking one way, and then within seconds turn the other way, walking down the other side. It was kind of weird.
Oh, right.
It was retarded shit. You don't see that. You don't see it in the streets of New York City. Come on now. People have to go places.
Well, I don't know, New York City nowadays.
Yeah, but they might see a group of like NPCs and be like, "Yeah, we don't know what to do with us until the quarantine. I'm going to turn the other way." Then 5 minutes later, turn the other way, and 5 minutes later, turn the other way. Like, what the? Yeah, that can happen maybe in real life. You never know, right?
And then you see like a bunch of people walking backwards.
Yeah, that's New York for you.
And then you see people climbing up walls like they're Spider-Man.
You know what's funny?
But you can't climb the wall.
Yeah, you know what's funny, James? My mom and I, back when I was a child, we were going to her person's house in Brooklyn, New York, and while we were at the stoplight, we saw this he's not that old, but he looks like in his 50s and 60s, but he's walking across the street, but he turns around going back the other way, like, what the hell's that about? This is way before
really?
Cyberpunk.
Was there a reason for him to turn back?
Yeah, he turned back to the other direction he was going from, excuse me.
Oh, wow. Oh.
It was funny. It was
weird.
It was funny, but at the same time, a little bit, sad, because maybe he has Alzheimer's or dementia or whatever. So.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand if he was turning back, like if cops were shooing him away, or if he realized he forgot something at home.
No, it's just him at the middle of the night, like at least around midnight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's a taste of Cyberpunk 2077 for you at my age.
But the thing is, I mean, back to Cyberpunk 2077, there are other things that have been dead on arrival. PlayStation Classic comes to mind. Marvel's The Avengers comes to mind.
Anthem.
Can we just let these games can we just let these things die, and not concern ourselves with them? I mean, now with the mods not being able to be trusted because someone might get into your PC if you use one.
Oh yeah.
What's the point? What I mean, unless you got enough money where you can spend another computer, where you can buy another computer, or maybe if you have a virtual machine, if you really want to go through the trouble of setting that up, unless you already have one set up.
Yeah.
Which most people don't. It's like, what's the risk? I mean, it'd be nice if these mods actually work, but the trade-off is that your PC is going to be hacked and then become compromised.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I just look at it like, why even bother? Just.
Definitely.
I mean, and the thing is, I think if you buy Cyberpunk 2077 now, you're not going to get a refund unless.
Yeah, it was after before the Christmas holiday, they're telling people that they cannot get a refund. So once until.
Yeah, but the thing.
Yeah.
Like Amazon, the websites like Amazon, eBay, really anything that uses PayPal, you could get a refund. It's just PlayStation Network and I think Xbox Live was even giving out refunds, but it was PlayStation Network that just wasn't. But the thing is, like any online retailer normally would, as long as you had a good reason.
Oh yeah.
Of course, with me, people just abused the system and said the game didn't work when it did. But that's just me. But anyway, yeah. So I'd just stay away from the Cyberpunk 2077 stuff, really for good. It's just something the sooner it's forgotten, the better.
It's only been too much, James. It's still in the trends, not as big as it was back a month ago, if not a month and a half ago. But people still play it. People still look into it. As far as the mod aspect is concerned, I'm not sure what's going on with that exactly, but let's just say that, if you're just a console player, like myself, for example, mainly a console player, we want to see what's up with the story, what's up with the characters in the game, and how well is the features that you can do whatever you want to do with your character, so that type of stuff. So
yeah. So again, I mean, I don't know. I just think the sooner we forget about this game, the better. I mean, we already called out CD Projekt Red. It looks like they're going to pay for this game. Pay in the moral sense by losing fans and stuff. And
it'll be sued by other companies or firms there.
Yeah, and they're getting sued by other companies. I even forgot about that. I mean, unless what's the point of dwelling on this game any longer?
No, it's gonna die until it's dying. Look at Anthem.
So it's just gonna die a slow, painful death.
Something like that. Yeah, it's like Anthem, for example. Like a year ago prior to its release, I was hyped up for the game because I saw the graphics, the gameplay of it. And all of a sudden, it came out on PC or especially on Xbox and PS4. They weren't really as great graphics, great anything really per se, and their population dwindled from like 1,000 to not even a dozen or a couple of dozen people playing it online. So it's that bad, Anthem. And I'm not sure what's going on with Anthem right this second, but as of last 6 months ago, Anthem is pretty much dead. So
yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, I think and pretty soon, or maybe not so soon, Cyberpunk 2077 will be joining Anthem.
Rest in peace.
At least I think so. And then some more information about Cyberpunk 2077. Did you hear that the source codes for Cyberpunk 2077 and Witcher 3 were auctioned and sold?
Never heard that specific part. Wow, how they sold it exactly? What do you mean?
Some people hacked into the CD Projekt Red system. They got the source code for both games. The Witcher 3, I think, was a mod or a game update that hadn't been released yet, and they basically sold it on the dark web and made a whole lot of money on this information that they stole from that they hacked from CD Projekt Red. They gave CD Projekt Red warning, said, we've got this information, you can pay us a ransom or we're going to sell this to the highest bidder. CD Projekt Red said they're not going to work with hijackers, they're not going to work with people trying to terrorize them. And I don't know who apparently purchased it, but apparently the source codes for Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 were sold.
I bet it's some 30 or 40-year-old group of people say you know what, let's screw CD Projekt Red for screw with our experience and time to kill the source,
Well, if you have the source code, you could always if you have the source code, you could just rework the code so Cyberpunk 2077 plays better.
Now that would be.
I don't know how
Robin Hood work.
I don't know how you could re-release it because you would need licensing for the names, and obviously, if CD Projekt Red saw something that was like their game, they're gonna want to know where that company got it. If it was if there was an actual developer or publisher that purchased it,
or be treated as a mod.
Huh?
Or it can be treated as a mod or add-on for the game for PC.
Well, the thing is, you don't even need a mod, because Cyberpunk 2077, you could change with the source codes for games, you could basically change anything. You can rewrite anything in or out of the game. If you know how to write source codes, that is. Not everyone knows that.
Yeah, obviously, me personally, even though I've been playing and using computers for how many years, if not decades now, I still don't know how to program or engineer anything of that sort. So
yeah, programming and coding is a lot different than, say, checking your email.
Definitely.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I really don't see how anyone would benefit buying the source code unless they basically just wanted to say, okay, we're going to build our games off this, but we're going to change it so people don't know. But like this source code is basically like a starting block. So instead of having to take 3 years to create a game, we can get our game out in 1 year.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, other than like a company doing something like that, I don't really see how the source codes for those games would be useful to anyone. You know, so basically the only ones that I would see even benefiting from, and these source codes were not going for cheap. They wanted like, they had a buy it now price of like $7 million for these codes. And I think the auction was like at $1 million.
Oh, that's a good keep of change to have as a. Well, if you're in a group, whatever, after depends how big the group is, it may not be worth it. But if you're an individual selling it for $1 million, you're set for almost, for a couple of decades. If you don't, if you either utilize that money, $1 million.
And the group was also the group. I doubt it's like 20 people. So like even if it is $1 million, say it's 4 people in a group, that's $250,000 each after paying the fees and stuff.
Definitely.
And they did this on the dark web, which I'll never go on. I've heard enough of the YouTube stories to never go on there.
Yeah, some ordinary gamer said that. He browsed the dark web live, not live stream, but basically recorded on YouTube. He posts all these episodes on YouTube, showing people.
I've seen a few of his episodes.
Yeah, that was crazy shit. I'm seeing hire a hitman, seeing clown videos, and and cartels killing each other and shit like that, and weird stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, you know what? I'm with the stuff that's on the dark web. Some of it's tame, like conspiracy theories, but like I would not want to. The more time I spent on there, the more time I would possibly wander into something that I didn't want to see.
Understood.
and then when you try to leave a stream early, people wondering why you're leaving. And then you got people after you, and then
definitely.
You know what? Just the only way I'd go into dark web is like someone tied me up and then use my computer to access it. But
that made you watch every single thing on the dark web at the same time.
Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube videos on like dark web horror stories, and I wouldn't want to find myself in that situation. So just don't go on there.
Of course not. Of course not. Don't go on those sites or the dark web itself.
Right, and for the people that sold the source code, good for you, but you definitely want to keep some of that money to hire a good lawyer in case you get in trouble, in case you get caught. And if someone did buy the source codes, like I heard, I hope it's a developer or somebody that can use them and use them for good, like releasing their own game. And they just like use the source code as a head start, and they just rewrite the code. And they just rewrite the code, but they used it,
Right.
So, yeah. So, but on the other hand, CD Projekt Red, they just haven't had a good end of the year or beginning of the year ever since they released this game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to get better. And I think it's going to be like this way for at least months to come, if not years to come. All right, so next topic. Oh, did you hear that there was a GoldenEye 007 remake planned for Xbox 360?
Well, it did came out on the 360 back in 2011, the remaster or remake, whatever at the time, called GoldenEye Reloaded. So
really?
Yes.
Oh, really? I thought that was just on the Wii.
No, it's on the Xbox 360. I played the demo of it. It was just like playing the N64 version, but in actual 3D, interactive environments, explosions, gunshots. Talking to a couple of people in actual voiceover. Not actually seeing text. So that's a good thing. It's a great improvement back then. I can't imagine how will be now if they're gonna do another remake for this time Xbox Series X and PS5, if not the PC at best. So you never know, right?
I don't think they're going to. It's too soon.
Yeah, that was for the 11th anniversary. I think it was, for that matter, for the GoldenEye Reloaded back in 2011. So
yeah, 15th anniversary. Yeah, so
something like that around that time.
So 2021 they could do a 25th anniversary, but the thing is, would people really want to play the same game again with even better graphics now?
Well, for us guys over 30 or whoever played GoldenEye back in the day, they're willing to buy it. I'm sure you're willing to buy it for about, 30, 40, 50 bucks again,
If I had the money, I'd probably buy it to check it out. But
if it's under, if it's $50 under.
I miss the James Bond games that were coming out on PS3 already, like Bloodstone 007.
Okay.
Bloodstone 007. I love that game, and I really wish. I think poor sales contributed to it because the story of Bloodstone 007 ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And in the credits, it says, at the end of the credits, it says, find out what happens in the next James Bond game. So obviously the story was going to happen on a two-parter, but I don't think Bloodstone 007 got the sales it needed. So the next game we got was 007 Legends, which was just basically key scenes from different James Bond movies that we play out.
Right.
So we never got this conclusion to Bloodstone 007 story, which kind of sucks because Bloodstone was a good game. If you can find it on 360, I suggest you get it. How much is Bloodstone? It's probably cheaper than the 007 Reloaded.
It should be no more than $50 used.
Bloodstone 007, you can get it for like $12 used on 360.
Okay.
I'm on price charting right now. Let's see. Amazon says $15.63. This is for loose copies. eBay $16. Then complete prices. eBay has $14.95. Amazon has $64.82. That's a big jump. And then it's much more expensive. Much more expensive if you want a brand new copy. Which, why would you do that?
Right.
Unless you're a collector, but then if you're a collector, you're not going to play the game.
Unless you want to play a brand spanking new like I do not every single time, but if I were to buy, excuse my language, I can't say that before I forgot about that matter on stream. But if you were to play like Mother 2 in the brand new spanking new Super Nintendo copy, it's worth it.
But yeah, but if you're going to buy a game brand new, if you're going to drop $45, $60, $75, $90 on new games, and it's not something that just came out, you're not buying it to play it. You're buying it to hold on, to keep it as a collector's item.
Yeah.
Because I don't care how bad a game is. I don't care how awful it is. I don't care if it's Madden 21 bad or WWE 2K20 bad. If you have the game in its case with its disc and it's still wrapped in plastic, it's never been opened, that still retains value.
Definitely.
Game Informer showed like Batman Returns on Sega CD was like over $600 brand new.
Wow.
Chrono Trigger for Super Nintendo was $1,800 brand new.
I have on Chrono Trigger as part of a double pack with Final Fantasy.
Yeah, for PlayStation. 1. That's not worth. Well, I don't know. Final Fantasy Chronicles. I'm checking price charting awfully a lot.
Because I got a brand new for about $30, if not less than that. The Chrono Trigger for PS1, along with the Final Fantasy game.
Let's see. Final Fantasy Chronicles, which consisted of 4 and Chrono Trigger. Yeah, it's only going for $26 brand new.
All right. So guys, just in time many years ago, and it still maintain its value. All right.
So, but Chrono Trigger on Super Nintendo, on the other hand, according to price charting, is $1,053.18 brand new.
Man, it's worth it to some game collectors, depending on where you find them at.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, like when when a friend of mine introduced me to a friend of his, he was selling me his like NES and PS2 collection in 2016 or 2017. I think it was 2017. And I told him about how NES boxes, games that have boxes and manuals are worth a lot. And then this guy sold me like over 60 Nintendo games. 2 weeks later, the guy texts me. He's like, dude, I checked the closet in my house, and I just found the empty boxes for all the NES games I sold you.
Really?
And I'm like, bring them over. Bring them over, dude.
Sell them for a few bucks, right?
Huh?
Sell them for a few bucks, right?
No, the games that I did end up selling the empty boxes that like some games I were able to sell right away. Mm-hmm. So then I just sold the empty boxes. But like there were a bunch of games that I still didn't have there were like 48 games that still didn't sell. I just put them with the box and manual because all the manuals were inside their respective boxes.
Right.
And like Ice Climbers went from a $10 game to a $70 game.
Hmm.
So it was, yeah, if you have a complete game or actually a brand new game especially, it does retain its value if it's something that's rare nowadays. I guess price charting is your friend. But they did say, getting back to the GoldenEye 007 remake, that you can play it on PC.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever play GoldenEye 007 on N64?
I got a copy of it back 10 years ago when it was on sale on Amazon. So yeah, I've been playing it. Oh, well, last time I played it was over 10 years ago. Okay, so you still
have your N64 copy.
And the N64 system, yes, that too. But I might get an expansion pack for it though, to play the better experience for it. So.
Right. So so you can play the better experience. You probably don't even have to buy the remake. It's somehow playable on PC. I don't know how. But my friends that sold me the Nintendo games, the friend that I knew that introduced me to them, they hated GoldenEye. They said it was because we were playing it on N64, and they were like, it's too hard to see and stuff, because we were like in the caves level.
Interesting.
So yeah, me it doesn't bother, but I guess because since I played it multiplayer since I was like a kid, I guess I'm just used to it.
Okay.
So, but they got the remake out, and apparently, if I don't know how to play the remake on your PC, but apparently it's possible. So if you don't want to spend the money on the remake, apparently it's somehow playable on your PC.
Interesting.
Okay, so next, get my mouse moving. Speaking of another game that's been out since we were kids, Street Fighter.
What about Street Fighter? What's going on with that?
Nothing really. Street Fighter 2, just basically, I wanted to talk, do you have like experience playing any Street Fighter games?
I've been playing Street Fighter 2 since as early as 1995, 96. A couple years after it came out. Yeah. And
did you play like any of the sequels, or did it end with 2?
I played Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter vs. X-Men a lot, Marvel vs. Capcom, then the movies, Street Fighter Alpha 2 I have on DVD. So I haven't got to watch Street Fighter Alpha 2 yet, but I will one day if I ever get a chance to, so.
Weren't there Street Fighter Alpha games also?
Yeah, that too. Street Fighter Alpha 2. I think that's like a 3, maybe. I doubt it. And then we had Street Fighter 4 back in 2008.
Right. And then I think we had Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, of course. That came out back like 3, maybe 4 years ago. But it had horrible sales and horrible ratings and comments on that because they came with any arcade mode, Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, that's the game. Right. They were trying to get the game out so people could practice it to play it like in esports, and all it had was the online mode.
Definitely.
And I remember that. So,
Sucks.
who was your favorite? Did you have a favorite character in Street Fighter?
I would say it's either Ryu or Chun-Li. Chun-Li my favorite, I have to say, to use.
Okay, my favorite was Dalsum because of the stretchy arms.
Oh yeah, that guy. He's pretty cheesy if you know how to use him well. He stretches out his arms and punches you across the map. Like, what the hell?
I never played Street. Go on.
I just want to say that my favorite character again is Chun-Li, and I like her energy balls and her little split kick reversal upside down, whatever you want to call it. I was like, hello.
Well,
they did a skit of it too.
To talk about other Street Fighter games, I also played a couple of others. I actually started out with Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, which had people like M. Bison in it.
Yeah.
And I know like the original Street Fighter 2 didn't have M. Bison or like other boss characters.
Okay.
I've also played Street Fighter 2, the new Challengers, like on Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And what was funny was I played like one arcade match. They had like the just like trash talking each other on like the next screen after an arcade match, but it wasn't in English. So like I just see a whole bunch of like Chinese, or I just see like all these symbols on the screen, and I'm like, that's supposed to mean something. Then what was the next Street Fighter game I played? I played Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah, I heard that was all right to play.
I don't really remember it that well.
It's like playing Street Fighter, but with Tekken characters included.
Yeah, it was Street Fighter and Tekken characters.
But I heard that there's supposed to be a Tekken X Street Fighter coming out sometime this decade. Now, last decade it couldn't do that because there was so many games coming out, like Tekken 7, Soul Calibur 6, Dead or Alive 6, those type of games. So they waited until another couple more years, so 5 years maybe, to release Tekken X Street Fighter.
So we might get another crossover.
Yeah, but this time's a Tekken. Isn't it Tekken graphics though?
I have to say my favorite cross fighting game though is Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh yeah, that was the Captain Commando and the Ninja Guy and Mega Man. I remember those characters in that game.
Maybe Mega Man was in there.
Yeah, it was. He was in Mega Man. Maybe it was in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Okay, I always chose the Resident Evil characters. Like I made like a team like a Chris, Jill, and Nemesis or something.
Yes, that was later on. That's in Marvel vs. Capcom, 2 or 3, right?
I don't even remember which one it was.
Because there's like at least 3. There's at least 4 Marvel vs. Capcom games that came out. It all came out for PS1, PS2, and PS3.
Well, this was on Xbox 360. That I remember.
Okay.
So it might have been 3.
All right.
But yeah, so I mean, so Marvel vs. Capcom was always my favorite cross-fighting game. I don't remember it working out particularly well for Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Okay.
But anyway, back to experiences. Yeah, that's the experiences I had. I played a lot of Street Fighter 2, but back as a kid, I wasn't really good at playing combos, at doing combos. I just stuck to like basic moves and like button moves that only required 2 buttons.
Or just button mashing.
Yeah. So
I do it.
Yeah, so I always liked Dalsum, playing as him. And that's really all I have to say about Street Fighter, just as a series.
Speaking of Street Fighter, there's this skits on Comedy Central, I think it was, like 5 years ago, called the Street Fighter Chronicles, or the Street Fighter Preparation, whatever it's called. It's by this actor slash comedian name of Phil something, or Douglas something, I think it was. Just type in like Street Fighter skits, and you'll see like Comedy Central or College Humor skits, whatever. I've got the guy's name already. Basically, it's this regular guy at the office talking to each Street Fighter characters about their skills, qualifications, and Chun-Li was one of them. Vega, Ryu, Ken, and I think M. Bison. That's about it. Everyone else is pretty much not part of it, but you get the gist of it when you see the skits. It's pretty funny.
Okay. They do things like that. I used to have in New York. I used to have. I think it was the Fight Network.
Right.
As a regular channel, it wasn't a paid channel like pay-per-view. Sometimes they had content on there like what you were talking about. I watched it because like 18 hours of the day they showed Impact Wrestling on there. So before Impact had its 24/7 Twitch channel, I could watch like old pay-per-views Saturday night and Sunday afternoon in their entirety on Fight Network. Or I could watch old Impact episodes or whatever they were showing. And I remember like at 3 a.m. they stopped playing Impact and they started talking about some show to do with Street Fighter, but I had no idea. I didn't stick with the show to actually watch what relation Street Fighter had to whatever they were covering.
Right.
So Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter New Challengers, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Oh, also in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I heard that the final boss in the arcade mode was dependent on whether you pick Street Fighter characters or Tekken characters. Okay.
So it's either if you play as Jin from Tekken, you might go up against Hachi. If you play as Ryu, you might go up against M. Bison, something like that, right?
No, the boss. Those weren't the bosses, but kind of like that. As a matter of fact, let me pull up on GameFAQs and I'll have the actual bosses that you fought against. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, just say Xbox 360. Chief.
Excuse me, guys.
Okay, they don't actually have it. Maybe for PlayStation 3.
Okay.
Because they just have character titles. I don't even see cheats here for PS3 version. Okay, so you had the right idea. It wasn't those bosses.
Okay.
But it was like that. So, and I think like if you did pick like a Street Fighter character and a Tekken character, it mattered on who you picked first.
Right.
So that's all I remember about Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and I also remember not liking it that much. Okay, so that was Street Fighter entrances. Did you see on Yang Ye's channel, Black Myth Wukong, the reveal trailer?
We shared with you. I shared it with you many months ago. Before this was back about around late to mid last year, so it started to come mainstream into the gaming trends with that Wulong game.
But this trailer reveal was just like a few days ago.
Oh, so basically there's a new trailer coming out. That came out.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I saw it through Angry Joe's website or Angry Joe's YouTube videos. It looks good.
It
shows actual monkey not dressed up, but a human-sized monkey type of character. Kind of interesting. So
makes you wonder what you're going to be fighting in the game.
Yeah, if you remember correctly. If you remember correctly,
look impressive.
Well, hold on a second. Let me finish what I have to say first on Triple J. If you remember from the first trailer I shared with you, it showed him being in different formats or different forms. Like he was a butterfly, then some sort of bug, and then now he's back to being a human. And there's physics where you use flames on the wolf character at the end, or like a wolf boss, whatever it's called. So it looks very realistic when we saw the other month or two. So.
Okay, yeah. The graphics look really impressive, and it also looks like a game that's gonna beat the hell out of you if you play it, like a Dark Souls game, or it's gonna be a game that's really challenging.
Like Sekiro.
Yeah, it's gonna be something that could cause a lot of control throwing It just has like one of those feels.
Yes, it'd be like, I
That
can't
could be
take
one of
this
those.
shit no more. I wish I could beat only Kage and Tenchu. Nice, easy as fuck to go up against.
I mean, me, I almost threw my controller while playing Black, but that was a different story.
That's a first-person shooter game. That shouldn't be too hard. And if you play a
That
challenger
game,
mode,
that game sucks.
that
I
game's
hate it.
pretty good if you take your time with it. Don't rush
Dude,
into
I
a
hated
battle.
spending like 20 minutes on a level, dying, and then having to restart the entire level.
No, that's back during its time. You know, you can't. It's not gonna hold your hand and save every 5 seconds. You know.
So I'm not asking to save every 5 seconds. I am asking for a checkpoint. There were times I literally came close to throwing my controller while playing Black. But as far as this game comes, Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing more. I definitely would wait for someone else to play it and put it on and put like a video out. Because I've actually never played Dark Souls or anything like that. And honestly, since I don't have time for games as much as I used to,
Right.
it's just not. I wouldn't want to play a game that I'm getting beat, that I'm losing all the time.
Mm.
But but it still interests me.
Right.
But I think it's only going to be out on next gen consoles. So.
Okay.
Again, that's just a thought, just a speculation. I could be totally wrong on that.
Of course.
But so like if it is, I'll pay attention to it. But even if it did come out like at $60, unless it was something that I really wanted to play really badly, I would be waiting for it to come down on price, or I'm gonna have to wait until I actually have enough motivation and money to get an Xbox Series X or a PS5. I'd probably get an Xbox Series X just so I don't have to pay for 2 online services, Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus.
Oh, definitely. Problem with the new generation of systems, PS5 and Xbox Series, is that there's no actual launch titles with that game for the time being until the end of this year or next year. So.
Yeah, the only games out were like Cyberpunk and Call of Duty, Cold War, and I think that's it, really.
There's supposed to be one game for PS,
and maybe a couple of sports titles also.
Yeah, there's supposed to be one game coming out for PS5 exclusively called Xena, this Bridge of Spirits. That's like something for kids to play. It looks like it because obviously it features a dark, color-skinned girl, being a spiritual, destroying things and creating things and protecting things. So it's like that supposed to come out like late last year, but it was pushed back until the summertime of this year, 2021. So.
Okay, just hold on. I'm gonna get my drink out of the freezer. I don't want it to.
Yeah, sure. Hold on a second, guys. She was just gonna take care of something. But yeah, that's it's pretty cool to see all this good stuff coming out for the PS5 and the Xbox Series. Problem though is that it's not as hard to put it out there. It's hard to put it out there as a launch title at the time. Not sure why they didn't do it at the time, but they did. They did. Now they pushed it until the earliest or late 2021, if not the summer of 2021, for like games like Xena, like I mentioned. So.
I don't understand why consoles seem to be doing that, because like the Switch did the same thing. When the Switch came out, the launch titles were Super Mario Odyssey, but then they were like the rest of the launch titles were Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, last game on the Wii U. It was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 was all on the Wii U. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. That was already released on the Wii U. And it's like, why am I going to pay $60 for those titles when I could pay $30 for those titles on the Wii U?
Not that many people who bought the Wii U, or they buy the Wii U, wanted to buy the Wii U at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, but the thing is, you should make people have bought the Wii U instead of re-releasing those games again.
It's all about making money for the newer generation of gamers. That's all. Add a little microtransactions to
I'm
it.
happy with my Wii U. I'm happy that the online shop is still up. I still plan to get more digital games, if I can, permitting my money situation.
All right.
But like I said, I already got Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, and Donkey Kong Country on my Wii U. So, and like I said, I plan to get the entire Donkey Kong Country trilogy. I plan to get maybe some NES games and then 64 games if I can.
All right, that's pretty good.
And I mean, and the thing is, I understand it wasn't for me, but like they still sold millions of Wii U's.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, how many people held on to them when the Switch came out?
Yeah.
They also just released Super Mario 3D World for the Switch, and it's just like the Wii U. It's just like the Wii U version. RGT85 even said if you already have Super Mario 3D World and you played it like last week or last month, then you're not missing anything here.
Let's go up and be part of the hype train all the time, every time.
But he says, like, if you haven't played it like for 8 years and you wanted to replay it again, then you can replay it on the Switch. And it's like, all right, I already got Super Mario 3D World in my drawer, so that's another reason not to get the Switch. I mean, I am actually looking at reasons to get the Switch, but there's only a few games I'm very interested in.
Oh, that's one. Yeah.
That's Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, maybe Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Maker 2.
Hell, we never know if Bayonetta 3 will come out for the Switch. Because Bayonetta 2 came out for the Wii U.
I don't think it will. I think it was going to come out for the Switch. It would have come out already.
No, it's too soon.
But also, you got to ask, is the Switch going to last 5 years like the Wii U did? Or are they going to continue with the Switch?
Yeah, it's his 4th anniversary so far, so another year we'll find out if it's going to be a Bayonetta 3 or maybe a Zelda game again,
Right. I mean, Breath of the Wild was the last game on the Wii U and the first game on the Switch. It came out for both. I always get stuck in Zelda games, so that didn't interest me.
That's why Brian played them. I'll admit that, yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, so like I said, there's 2 or 3 games I'd be interested in the Switch. That's not enough reason for me to buy one. Also, I can't afford one.
Yeah.
Even if I got like the old model. But yeah, so like those 3 games, it's like the only ones I'm interested in. But like I watch a lot of people on YouTube that make like Switch review Switch games, and it's just like nothing really seems interesting other than the normal ones.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm if I wanted to get Mario Kart 8 so bad, I could get Mario Kart 8 for Wii U. And the thing is, on the deluxe version, all the secret characters are unlocked from the beginning. So what's the point? One of the reasons you would play the game, especially on single player, offline, is to unlock the characters.
And to unlock new courses and new trials too.
I don't know about trials. Trials would be like an online thing nowadays.
Well, back during the Super Nintendo of the first Mario Kart, I could have sworn, because every time when you beat the game, there's another percentage higher than that. So it used to be, 50% and 100%, now up to 150%. I'm stuck on that, so...
That's not percentage, that's CC.
Okay.
Regarding speed. And yeah, the higher the number, the harder it got. And I heard there was like even a 4th speed, like 250 cc.
Damn.
If you got gold like on everything.
Damn, that's hard as hell to get up to that point. It's been 15 years.
It might not be the Super Nintendo version. It might have been like the N64 or something. But I do remember one of the Mario Kart games having like a secret 4th difficulty that was just like impossible. Well, not impossible, but impossible for most people.
Yeah, you gotta be like fucking like like the Baby guy character from the movie Baby, where the guy who drives like crazy in different turns and corners, and Kevin Spacey is being all badass and shit.
Right.
I'm sorry if
Well,
I'm
like
off
Jared
topic, but no, basically Baby's like this highly intelligent guy doing all these driving maneuvers and stuff like that. So.
Well, like Jared Padalecki in the new Walker remake. I watched one episode. I watched half of one episode. I couldn't, and I was bored out of my mind.
So the Walker sequel or reboot is that bad, huh?
It's a reboot, and it's really bad. Yeah. But one funny, like I wanted to give it a chance because I like Jared Padalecki because he played Sam Winchester in Supernatural, and like it's funny. Jared had to come in the new Walker reboot. He is Walker himself.
Right.
He had to pass a driving test, and basically he was undercover for a year, and now he had to basically go through like all the retesting to see if he could stay on duty.
Okay.
And one of the tests was a driving test. So like they had the cone set up. Jared's driving something that looks like 80, 90 miles an hour. The driving instructor is like hanging on for dear life in the passenger seat. And like, even though he's driving like 80, 90 miles per an hour or however fast he was driving, he doesn't hit one cone. So like he pulls up at the end of the driving course and he looks at the driving instructor in the passenger seat. He goes, "So how did I do?" The driver instructor looks like she's ready to barf and just exits the car. That was like the funniest moment I saw, and but I mean, the new Walker reboot. It started with the first episode had like 2.4 million viewers.
Right.
3 episodes later, they're down to 1.7 million.
Almost cut like by at least 30%. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like the Batwoman, the Batwoman series on CW11.
Yeah, kind of like that. It's on the same network, CW.
Yeah.
It's just one problem with the Walker remake is they don't have like, I don't know. Did you ever watch the old Walker Texas Ranger?
Yeah, but not a lot of them episodes, but I watched plenty of it with my aunt and such. You know.
Well, like Jared, like remember how like Walker would get in fist fights every episode?
Mm-hmm.
Jared Padalecki doesn't get in those fist fights. It's more drama based instead of action based.
Well, that sucks. So there's no Chuck Norris either, right?
No, Jared Padalecki plays the wolf.
Well,
plays the lead wolf.
At least
Walker.
bring in Chuck Norris for the pilot season, pilot episodes,
Well, Chuck Norris is also 80 years old.
Well, he doesn't have to fight. He can just do like a little backflip or whatever with like turning, like how the judo flip, whatever. Just do an easy judo flip and and then say like you're.
He's 80 years old.
Hey, you don't have to make it too hard for him. Just be like, okay, Chuck Norris, we'll give you an easy thing to do. Just do a little tiny judo flip where it's like you're doing a front flip, like Snake on the Boss in Metal Gear Solid 3. If you remember that one,
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could have had him do something.
Yeah.
Like at least like shake Jared's hand or something, but this reboot seems like most reboots, destined to go into garbage.
I was also don't put no social justice warrior where it's like turning Walker Texas Ranger into a tranny or a black person or even a woman. It's like, come on now.
Thank God they didn't do that.
I mean, I don't mind different types of characters for that same character, but why the original character from the start? And every original character from James Bond to She-Ra to even maybe even the Men in Black International. It's ridiculous.
Like you brought it up with like James Bond because like almost everybody. Like every James Bond movie had a different actor playing James Bond, and that was fine. But they all had, like whether I mean, I like Pierce Brosnan because I like the GoldenEye game, so that made me interested in the GoldenEye movie.
Likewise.
So, you know, I like Pierce Brosnan. I've seen the other Bond movies. I liked them. But, you know, the actors were playing James Bond because they looked like a good role at the time. They didn't say, oh, we need to do this social justice correctly. So this person needs to be this, and this person needs to be this, and this person needs to be this, and this movie's gonna crack. So,
now the new movie is gonna come out this year, No Time to Die, or next year, whenever that comes out. You know, it features a black woman taking over James Bond role.
I hate that. I hate that. So what? Is M gonna be an old man?
It could be an old.
Used to be a woman.
Yes, but M used to be an old man back during the Sean Connery James Bond movies. Remember? If you bought the 50 Bond,
I haven't seen every single one of them.
Did you buy the 75th anniversary edition of the Bond movies? Because it's all of them from 1960 up until the Tomorrow Never Dies or Die Another Day or some other. You know, it was that No Man's Sky, whatever. It's called Sky Tomorrow, some shit like that with Craig Daniel as the second to last movie. So
I never saw every Bond movie. I seen the only one I seen all the way through was GoldenEye, but I've seen like clips here and there. Like when I used to visit my grandfather, if he saw a James Bond movie on, an older one, he wasn't a fan of like GoldenEye or anything.
Okay, because I watched Dr. No, Live and Let Die, Octopussy. Then there's also the man with the golden gun. So it was interesting to see all these new characters come into play. You know, and Jaws come into play. The guy with the jawline of having that teeth and stuff. He was in 3 or 4 movies. It was pretty good.
I've only seen him in one, but like he had that like his teeth were like metal.
Definitely, yes.
I saw that movie at my grandfather's. That scene anyway.
Definitely.
But, but the thing is, like, I don't care if you replace someone as a character as long as you think it'll fit the story. If you're doing it just to be politically correct, you know what? Just throw out what you got right now.
I mean, you can't make a brand new character from the start. Create a canon behind it, like a side quest or what's called side spin-offs. No, that's episode. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. But I mean, don't give me James Bond and say, oh, it's going to be played by a black woman. It's James Bond, not Jamie Bond.
After 50 years, especially, come on, now you gotta break tradition that long ago. Like, come on.
Yes. So that's.
I wouldn't mind her being a partner of James Bond for another few episodes or few movies.
She could be a partner. Like Natalia was Bond's partner in GoldenEye. Well, yeah, she was a partner by the end of the movie, at least.
As Sky Tomorrow, the second to last Bond movie, the last Bond movie that came out, whatever it's called now, James Bond was being shot by his partner on the train. So because he tried to snipe the bad guy. So it's kind of like, playing partner / double agent by mistake type of situation where I can't explain it, but that's what happened in that movie at the beginning. So not to spoil it for everyone, but
All right. Well, I mean, again, remakes, they just always seem to fail.
Well, it's not a remake. It's a sequel from Spectrum.
Yeah, well, I was talking about the Walker remake. They already lost 30% of their viewers, like in 4 episodes.
Okay.
But as far as the Bond movies go, like you said, if you wanted to create like a spin-off or something, that's fine. But like you said, James Bond has been around for like 50 years.
Yes, indeed.
Don't change something now. You want to change the main actor? Fine, make it a guy. Because I'm gonna feel really silly calling a woman James.
Definitely.
Or referring to her as James. It's just like, I guess I'll bring it up. when Becky Lynch in WWE started being called the man. I hated it. I hated it.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cringy the first time I heard about that.
I mean, could you imagine trying to explain that to like a viewer of that doesn't watch wrestling? Be like, yeah, here comes the man, and like, and someone would be like, she's a man, and be like, no, she's the man, and be like, what? So she's had a sex change? Be like, no.
It's very confusing to the average, 50-year-old, 60-year-old out there.
Yeah. So that, I mean,
even I myself, we grew up with people who are gay and stuff like that. Come on now, people. Like, what's going on with you? Why make it so complicated?
Yeah. So again, but again, things have to be socially correct, and just like the Ghostbusters reboot, it'll fail.
Well, I have to say that the Ghostbusters movie was not with the girls, that is, they were not that bad. Problem though is that they were very sexist in a sense, where they used that gun on the Marshmallow Man's dick or his groin area. Okay. It was like, whoa, okay.
Well, all I know is that Ghostbusters all-female edition bombed, and they actually had like a sequel or two planned, and like when the movie performed as poorly as it did, those sequels went right in the trash.
Unless they're going to include Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, the other guys, so...
Yeah, they didn't include any of the living actual Ghostbusters to at least pass down the reins. I'm saying, like, at least if one of these women had been related to the original Ghostbusters, like a father-daughter kind of thing, then it would make sense.
Yeah.
You know, letting the new generation do it. They just all happen to be women.
And the guy with the glasses, the one of the four main characters, just died like 3-4 years ago. And if it wasn't for Bill Murray, rumor has it that he put a halt on the remake or the reboot of the series or sequel of the series. All four characters will be back in the third, if not fourth, Ghostbusters movie. So it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ghostbusters will come out this year. Well, but it's not going to be like the entire team for the first two Ghostbusters, obviously. So
right, but I mean that all-female Ghostbusters, it was a disaster because again, I watched the trailer and I'm like, what from this is supposed to be funny? The first Ghostbusters was supposedly funny.
Yes.
But no, we got to do things that are socially correct now. Anyway.
Girl power.
Going. Let's kick something else while it's down. Google shuts down their gaming development team. Apparently, Google Stadia will only have third-party games from now on.
Which is kind of useless to that point, because who wants to really buy Google Stadia now after that happened?
Exactly. Who's going to buy a console that only has third-party?
And what's the screwed up part, when you buy Stadia, not only you have to pay the $60 per game, you also have to pay the subscription for the game, and you don't own your games after that.
Exactly. If they had made sure their service was more
offline-ish.
If their service was definitely going to work, at least in most areas, as long as you had good internet. And if they only went one way or the other, then they would have been at least an actual competitor in the gaming industry.
Right.
But no one wants to pay $60 a game and then have to pay a monthly subscription service. What they should have done was gotten rid of the $60 or whatever for a game and just had the subscription service every month.
Definitely.
But again, we're talking about Google. These are the same geniuses who created Google Plus, and look how that turned out.
And Google Glasses.
And yeah, what other platforms did they create? That's that's now dead.
They created this hub of sorts with a device where you connect all your devices via the USB port underneath its dome or its Chrome, whatever it's called, and it didn't last this long. Movie Tech USA mentioned many months ago, if not years ago.
And I'll get into that. I think that's the next subject coming up. Yeah. So Google basically, again, I remember when like Stadia first came out, people were questioning, when the going gets tough, what do we have to show that Google is going to stand by its system? And now they're bailing out, just like we knew they would.
Right.
And do you realize Google can't create anything? They tried creating a Facebook clone with Google Plus. Look where that is.
Yeah.
They tried creating their own gaming system.
Yeah.
Look how Stadia is slowly dying. The only thing they have is YouTube, and they didn't even create that, and they're even running that into the ground.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But as you were saying about connecting all your different things, the developer for Terraria was apparently working on a Stadia version of their game Terraria, and apparently that's been canceled.
That sucks.
What happened is some developers who had like everything on Google, like their Gmail, their Twitter, not Twitter, but they had their Gmail, they had everything like a Google, and then when they got shut down, when their account got shut down, when they had a disagreement, Google shut down all their services, and like if you use Google Mail or anything else that Google provides, all that information is gone.
And there's no way to recover it too, right?
Not unless you had it backed up, no.
Well, they have Google Drive as one service, Google Maps, such and such. So with Google Drive, you can back it up to something.
Yeah, but you would think like people are getting locked out of like they put everything in there, and then like if something happens with Google or you violate one of their terms of service, or you don't even violate one of their terms, you just have a disagreement with them, they said they can lock you out of everything that you have.
And karma's a bitch to the Google company itself.
Yeah, and a Terraria developer said that they can kiss the Terraria port for Google goodbye. Apparently it was on Google Play. This is the Stadia port that I'm talking about.
Okay.
They said Terraria will still be available on Google Play for people who want to play it that way, but the Stadia port is dead, and he said he's never going to work again with Google. Good job, Google. You'll definitely succeed by pissing off people that you work with.
Oh, sure, they're a monopoly, all right, in a technical sense, but if they keep this over and over, they'll eventually lose lots of money in the process. So
yeah, they think they're so big they can't be touched. Wasn't MySpace big at one point?
Well, Google's not really a social media site; it's a search engine. It's by itself. So then it started to expand into CIA and NSA, FBI projects, with these agencies. Then also corporations like that of Verizon and and Comcast, you name it. So
yeah, but the thing is, they have all these things. But the thing is, Google doesn't seem like a good place to work with, and this developer, like he said, the state. He basically burned his bridges with Google, saying he's not going to do anything for them anymore. He's not going to create anything for their Google Play Store. He's not going to. So basically, it's like, go ahead, piss off more companies. See how structurally stable you really are.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I mean, but you know what? It doesn't surprise. Hey, Miller Time, thanks for joining us. But Google, I'm not really surprised by the story, because Google just seems like a company you can't trust.
Definitely.
And now that they're pissing off developers that were working with them, and that's ridiculous how they can, like, if they shut down one Google thing, all your other Google accounts will be shut down too, and any info you had locked in those accounts is basically gone.
Mm-hmm.
So so Terraria was, which is a game I didn't understand. It was supposed to come out for Google Stadia. That's not going to be happening anymore. So that's one third-party game that's not coming out. Now the reason I had you on log on to Twitch, a lot of times I ask you questions that I got that PlayStation Memories brought up on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm going to stream a video through OBS, so if you're watching on Twitch, you'll be able to see it. And it's called the biggest brain fart in video games. Basically, we'll watch the video and then we'll talk about it.
All right.
You're seeing the video, right?
Hold on a second. Okay, now I see. Okay.
Did you see the Metal Gear Solid part, or do I have to replay it?
I see a Metal Gear Solid part right now.
Oh, okay. So it's a few seconds behind.
Yeah, that definitely helped me screw myself over after a while.
Yeah.
Because I did have the right now I don't have the original case with the actual booklet inside, so I'll be lost if I didn't memorize the codec at least.
Yeah. When Retro Gamer 3 was streaming Metal Gear Solid on Twitch, I tried to help him out by telling him the frequency, but I said it was 140.25, and like he tried that frequency, he's like, nothing's happening, and I'm just like, huh, and then someone corrected me, it's like 140.15, and I'm like, and I was like, gotcha.
Interesting. That wasn't so easy as hell, but you know. What the hell?
Let me know when the video ended.
Sure. What? Harry Potter. The video's over.
Okay. So the reason I showed you that video, I basically want to ask you, what was your biggest brain fart in gaming? Did you ever have something like this happen to you?
Well, in the same game, Tomb Raider for 1995, 94, 96, whatever that came out, I played it on
96.
Okay. So basically, I played it first time in about, 10, maybe 12 years. Last year, I recorded everything from start to finish, what I did on Tomb Raider.
Right.
And you see everything recorded on my Dr. Case 101 bit shoot. And basically, I stuck up to a part of the second set of levels of, I think it's stage 3 of World 2 or stage 3 of wherever that country is, where it's on top of the hilltop you have to climb up to, and you get to kill the 2 lions in the beginning of the adventure of that levels. So I got stuck up to the part where you had to use the sewage system or the water treatment plant to drain and to refill, drain again. And I got stuck up to the part where I tried to get how to get that last key in order to enter into the further into the level. So I was having a brain fart. So now I figured it out after looking back on older walkthroughs, and I said, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. All right, and that's what I found out later on. I was having a brain fart for a good 30 minutes into the recording. I'm like, damn, what am I supposed to do? And people are watching me doing this, so I embarrassed myself.
Okay, is that the only time you can remember, or?
Oh yes, there's also Final Fantasy VII, where you beat the ultimate weapon, which is the one with the black design, whatever you want to call it. Once you beat the ultimate weapon, he destroys a part of a canyon over by Red 13's family village, and you go into the forest of puzzles. And I knew how to do most of what the strategy had told me to, but I had a brain fart because I kept doing this over and over for a good 15 times, even with the strategy guide. So I don't know what I was doing wrong, but when I did it right back 15 years ago last time, I remember. Now all of a sudden I know what to do to beat the game, etc., etc. So.
Okay, I had a few brain farts. Well, actually, a couple. One was something I heard that was a code, and it turned out to be a fake code. First, I'll explain that. The fake code was for WWF Attitude. If Triple H is dominating a match, if he's on the offensive, there's a point where he eventually says, "If I were you, I'd hit reset now." Someone, I think it was on Game Packs, said if you reset the game right after he says that, you unlock everything.
How's that work?
I don't know. I tried it. It doesn't work. But
how do you save it, though? How do you reset everything if you can't save it?
I don't know. Maybe... I mean, there are games where you have to, like X-Men on Genesis, where you have to reset the Genesis to advance to the next level.
Okay.
So, I guess it could technically work, but it didn't work when I did it. So, anyway, but again, that wasn't really a brain fart. I was just misled with bad information.
Of course.
Back
in those days.
The brain farts that I had, well, actually, this one was also bad information. It was my first time playing Grand Theft Auto 3 at Kevin's house.
All right.
I was driving the car, and the car flipped over and caught on fire, so I crawled out. Kevin and a couple of his friends were like, so I started running away from the car. Kevin and his friends were like, no, jump on top of the car, see what happens. I'm like, okay. Keep in mind, I never played Grand Theft Auto before at all.
Same here with me at the
So
time.
I jump on the car while it's on fire, and it explodes, and it kills me.
The car was in flames, so I bet.
I thought maybe my character would get launched up in the air or something. But that didn't happen either. But then we were basically all trying the game and passing the controller around. When it came my turn, when my turn came up again, they skipped me, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "No, you was too stupid. You jumped on the car when it was on fire." I'm like, "You told me to." And they're like, "Yeah, you believed us."
Those are the days of gaming.
That's actually why I ended up stealing Grand Theft Auto 3 from him. Not my proudest moment. But also, I had problems in Driver. I didn't know what some of those things were that you were supposed to complete either. Like slalom, I don't know what that is.
What?
Yeah, SLALOM.
What's that?
I don't know. That's why I couldn't complete the driving stage, the first stage in Driver.
You must kill Salwin or something, maybe?
No, it's some kind of maneuver with the car.
At least it should say 3 to go do a donut or something.
Yeah. So I had that problem, and my last brain fart with the game was when I rented my first PSP game.
Okay.
From GameFly.
Nice.
Now it's like a little small optical disc, like in this plastic case that the PSP games come in.
Yes.
I thought, genius me, that you were supposed to open that plastic case and take the disc out. You're not supposed to do that. So when I broke open the plastic case, or one half of the plastic case, I ended up breaking the game.
Wait, while it is in the PSP?
No. It was a PSP UMD disc.
Okay, what did you do exactly? Just take it out of its packaging, right? Or if it's a case?
Just take it out of its case. Just take it out of its case and put the whole thing in there, plastic case included.
I don't know about that part.
And then when the PSP door can close, you have the game in the correct way. I didn't know that. So I broke open like half of that plastic thing, and I couldn't get it open. And so I asked my younger brother for help, and he's like, "No, you're not supposed to break that open. That's supposed to remain closed." So we put the game in that I just rented from GameFly, put it in my PSP. Obviously, the PSP can't read it because the plastic part's not supposed to be broken. So I had to tell GameFly that I destroyed the game. So I had to pay for a new one.
Oh man!
So
how much did they ask you to pay?
So it was like $15, and the thing is, like, even if you wrecked the game, GameFly would still send you the case.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't have the game to put it in. The game's broken.
So basically, the UMD disc. Yeah.
But to be fair, I did hear like if you have a PSP disc that's really scratched, then that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to break open that plastic part, put the disc, take the disc out, and use your scratch remover on it. Then you're supposed to put it back in its plastic thing, and you're supposed to crazy glue the plastic part shut, and then the game should work.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so basically you're not, unless you're gonna try to fix the game yourself because it doesn't work, you're not supposed to break open that plastic part with the disc inside. You're just supposed to put that whole plastic thing into the PSP.
Okay. I never saw a UMD disc before, so.
Yeah, I never played a PSP game before, so how was I supposed to know? And Grand Theft Auto 3, actually, it wasn't just because of that one time that I stole it. What happened is this was the night of the 2002 Royal Rumble, and I came over earlier in the day so we could hang out before then. Oh,
that was when Ric Flair and Vince McMahon get into a street fight.
Yes, that Royal Rumble. So anyway, so they did that to me on that night, and I let it go.
Okay.
Then a couple times that me and Kevin talked on the phone, he brought it up himself. Basically giving me a hard time that I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to listen to them. And calling me dumb and stuff like that. Then came the day of WrestleMania 18. I came over early in the day again, 3-4 p.m. WrestleMania didn't start till, I think, 8. Maybe 7? I don't remember. This was WrestleMania 18. This was years ago.
Most pay-per-views back then started around 8 o'clock.
Yeah, because I think Sunday Night Heat was from 7 to 8.
Yes.
But anyway, we were putting the cable box from Kevin's TV in the basement to the living room TV because the living room was the big screen. We were going to watch WrestleMania in the living room.
Okay.
So we go down to his basement where he kept his games, and he's like, so anyway, I gotta save my game. He starts playing it, and keep in mind, this is long before the event because it takes 5 minutes to hook up a cable box. Or a VCR. And he's playing it, and he dies, or I'm like, can I try? He's like, no, you're too stupid. Remember what happened last time? You keep calling me dumb and stupid, I'm going to be offended eventually.
That's how Kevin is sometimes.
What?
That's how Kevin can be that sometimes, yeah.
So this is how I got back at him. I brought my backpack with me, as I always did, because usually, especially if we were going to watch wrestling, we always got snacks at the 7-Eleven that was right across the street from his house.
Right.
So I brought my backpack with me. When he went upstairs, and when we were done playing games, or he was done playing games, he went upstairs to use the bathroom. I took Grand Theft Auto 3 and Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and I hid them on a table under a cupboard. And I left them there. When it was time for me to go home, I'm pretending I make sure I got everything. I'm like, oh, I forgot my bag. It was in your basement. And Kevin's like, well, go get it so you can go home. I go downstairs. I get my backpack. I put the 2 games in my backpack. Zip it up.
Oh God.
I showed him by stealing Grand Theft Auto 3 and Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh man, I see you have problems with Kevin as well.
Yeah, I don't like that guy. I haven't talked to him since 2006, and when I cut him out of my life, that was the best move.
I see. Well, if I can publicly mention this, Kevin and I, we were friends from 2000. Well, I knew you guys I knew you first, James, back as well as 2002. But by 2004.
No, 2000.
Okay.
We met in 8th grade.
Okay, around that time, basically. But by 2000.
And we were both in 8th grade from September 2000 to June of 2001.
Pretty much. And then.
Yeah.
And then with Kevin, I met him through you back, 2002? Of the SmackDown,
2002, 2003, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then by 2007, I connected with him again. I think I had his screen name. So basically, him and I started becoming friends directly. While you and I were not talking to each other for a while, and
right.
And I kind of trusted him to give him a ticket to go to see the Stone Temple Pilots. Concert in Jones Beach Theater in Wantagh, New York, and
okay.
I told him I had the tickets. I told his father too, and I have the tickets too. But Kevin, I don't know what he was doing. I didn't say shit to him, but I followed his lead. He started acting a little weird and such nearby the gate, the side of the gate where you get in for VIP access. I don't know how he thought about this, but he did. We both walked in there with no problems, with no security stopping us. But,
oh, wow.
But by the time we got into, after everything, the concert was over, everything else, I told him, hey, Kevin, you owe me $100 because I paid the tickets for both of us. He said, yeah, sure, I'll pay you back soon. But then after how many weeks, if not months later, he never paid me back, and I stopped being friends with him after that because of that matter. I don't know why he thinks that he's not going to pay me back because he put me into the concert for free. I told him I have the tickets. It's almost like he just disregarded what I said to him. Not disregard what I said to him, also what I have. I can't believe it. I mean, I try to be friends with him, but I see it wasn't as successful as it seems. So,
Now you see why I haven't talked to the guy in like a decade and a half.
Yes.
This
is back in 2008.
I actually stopped being friends with him is, if you remember, in high school, my parents were getting divorced, and Kevin I had met through my father. My father had a friend, and Kevin was that friend's son. So, but what happened is I told Kevin some fake information that wasn't true because I didn't think I could trust him.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out, the one person I told that fake information to, somehow that fake information made it to my father.
Okay.
So either what I was telling Kevin, he was telling his father, or what I was telling Kevin, he was telling my father directly. And when I learned I couldn't trust him, I just never talked to him again.
I understood.
I even one time my mom, he called me on the phone and we talked then, and when I hung up, I'm like, Mom, if he calls back, don't tell him I'm here.
Yeah.
And I never talked to him again. And it's a shame, but at the same time, he could be. I don't want to sound sensitive or anything, but he could really be verbally abusive, and he would just never let up. Like with Grand Theft Auto 3, I mean, okay, it's something that happened in January. You're still gonna make fun of it in March,
or even a year later.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, another thing. If I had left Grand Theft Auto 3, but I stole all his other games, he probably would have never noticed.
He has that many games, huh?
He had not that many. I remember there was 3. It was Grand Theft Auto 3, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, I forget which one, and some fighting game that didn't even have a case. I think he bought the game from Blockbuster.
Okay.
I don't remember what the fighting game was, but if I had took Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and that fighting game and left Grand Theft Auto 3, he was playing Grand Theft Auto 3 so much, he probably would have never realized I even stole the other games. Because when he found out I stole Grand Theft Auto 3, he found out I also stole Tony Hawk Pro Skater from him. He's like, I didn't even know you took this. He goes, I didn't even know this game was missing. I'm like, I should get my mouth shut.
But did you own the game before? Did you like purchase it originally yourself?
No,
or?
I didn't have the games at this point.
Okay.
But the thing is, I was just like I said, you keep calling me names like dumb and stupid. You know, eventually I'm gonna do something. You know, I think Kevin knew that, but like every time me and Kevin play fart, he always could beat me in a fight. So I think he kind of knew that thought he knew whatever he wanted.
He's the dominant. He's a dominant person.
Because if I didn't like it, what was I gonna do?
He's a dominating person back then to what we discovered. So.
Yeah. So.
Those are interesting times, you know.
Yeah. So anyway, those were the brain parts. There's another video on Facebook. If you want to cover it, we can. It's favorite top 10 PlayStation racetracks. You want to cover that video?
If you want to, you can play the video right now on the Twitch.
Okay. Might as well, because I'm not. I didn't watch this video to completion like I did the last one. So.
Right. Ready when you are, James.
I'm playing it now.
Okay. Obviously, there's like a good 30-second delay. I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think Crash Bandicoot, the Oxide Station was the best one. That was a good racetrack right there at the time, and it's still on the Nitro field as well.
What was that?
Oh, I said that the Crash Team Racing game had a racetrack called the Oxide Station, which is my nitrous oxide, the main boss you go up against, the last boss you go up against, and it was pretty good racing track because you jump a lot and you go fast and slow sometimes, and you make the right jump. You mean jumping in high as a motherfucker, you know? Because Crash Bandicoot would be like, Howie! And then when you use Coco, she'd be like, Crash Bandicoot power! Or Bandicoot power!
What was that? Oh, I said that the Crash Team Racing game had a racetrack called the Oxide Station, which is like nitrous oxide, that's the main boss you go up against. Right. Up against. That's what you were talking about.
Wait, what, James?
Just wait till the next game. Just wait till number 7 comes up.
Okay. Wow. Okay. That bike game was pretty interesting to play. Outside Station. Now we see. What a coincidence. That's a good map. I may not be winning every single time against regular racers, but definitely I can have a good performance in the end. So, Howie. Man, can you believe the Need for Speed goes back as far as like 1990s? Man.
Yeah.
Trees is just beautiful.
Yeah, that was the truth with all Destruction Derby games.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
All right, let me know when it's done.
Yeah, sure. Alright, the video is over.
Okay. So do you have any racing tracks from any racing game that like you like what are some of your favorite tracks from racing games that you played?
The one that stood out the most to my great long time memory is the Oxide Station Crash Bandicoot Crash Team Racing. Back in 1989, because as I was beating the game, and for the first time going up against Nitrous Oxide, he said, "You must complete all these crystals and coins," and then I was like, "Okay, well, I'll get you the second time on that level," and the second time I beat him, and it's like, okay, it's not easy as hell, but I pretty much got taken advantage of the jumps, so to get more speed. So
right.
That's what I like about that track at the time. And that's all I can remember when it comes to race games. I haven't played as much of Need for Speed, Test Drive, Gran Turismo.
Like racing games on other consoles, like Nintendo or Sega. Any racing games from there where you like with a track that really stands out to you?
I mean, I played Pole Position from the arcade games, but I don't remember the exact tracks. So I was too young at the time.
Alright, I don't really remember any tracks from PlayStation games, but I do. But two tracks that I never forget from Mario Kart. There's Rainbow Road and Bowser's Castle. Those and I really like how they redid Bowser's Castle on I think it was Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
They redid Bowser's Castle and they kept the I think N64 version in the same game, so they had two Bowser's Castles in there. And the first one, the N64 version just had a fresh coat of paint, but the current version, the one where it was one of the 16 new tracks, it looked completely different. There was a lot more stuff in there. So those are the tracks that stand out to me. Road Rash and Road Rash. As much as I like the game, I don't none of the tracks stand out to me. It's the gameplay that I always love going back to.
Oh yeah. Test Drive Auto's not that bad either. That game.
Yeah. So that was racing track. That was favorite racing tracks that we remember. Now it's time to talk about. Go back to this. We're going Resident Evil reboot. The cast was announced.
Hey, James, can you hold up for a couple minutes? I have to take care of something. I have to use the restroom.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm back, James.
Okay. We discussed the Resident Evil reboot, I think last episode, and now they've announced the cast, and this website that I'm on, if it's not displaying on your end yet, it should in a little bit. They've announced the cast, the new live action cast, and I wanted to go over it with you.
Okay.
Now I will start this off by saying, yes, I am gonna put my bias aside. I do have a crush on Ali Larter when she played Claire Redfield.
All right.
She is like my adult celebrity crush. But let's look at these new actors and actresses, and let's see what we think of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to mention I've seen all these names. I haven't recognized one actor or actress in this that's going to be in this reboot.
All right.
So yeah. So the first one, Kaya Scodelario will play Claire Redfield. Do you see it on Twitch? It should have her real life picture and then a picture of Claire.
All right. She's not that bad looking.
So I guess you could pull off Claire, especially if you're talking about a current day, like a Resident Evil 2 remake, Claire Redfield.
Definitely.
Okay, scroll down. Hannah John Kamen will play Jill Valentine. And she does look like she could pull off a Resident Evil 3 remake, Jill Valentine. I really wish Sierra, I don't remember her last name, how to say it, but I do wish the original Jill Valentine came back.
From Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Do you notice something between these new characters and these new actresses.
I haven't seen Jill Valentine actor yet. Can you scroll down, please?
I'm already on it. So, do you see it now?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Okay, now I see. Oh, okay. She's not bad. I like her lipstick.
But doesn't she kind of look? But these actresses, they look like they're not going to be portraying the original Jill or the original Claire. They're going to be portraying the new generation from games.
Really?
That's the way. That's what I get. So next, Robbie Amell will play Chris Redfield, and you know what? He looks like he doesn't look that different. So again, all these actors and actresses look like they would portray them. You know, they're portraying the new ones, not the old ones.
Right.
So I'll wait until it comes on your screen, and then you can talk about it, and then we'll continue.
Sorry for the wait, guys. Just that it's a 30-second delay just to see everything.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to share everything through Discord next time.
But why IG in Africa? Well, where do you get this stuff at?
I don't know. I just Googled it, and this is what came up.
Okay.
I wanted a cast game comparison, and this was the website that had it.
All right. This guy Robbie Amell, you know, he's all right looking to play Chris Redfield. He got the hair and all, so.
Yeah.
Especially in Code Veronica. The Code Veronica game?
Yeah. Yeah. So next,
I played that. I recorded that recently on BitChute on YouTube. So.
Yeah, you've only done one video on Code Veronica, right?
Yeah, the Code Veronica X HD version. Yeah. It's in HD now. Woo!
I played Code Veronica X on PS2. The next one is Tom Hopper will play Albert Wesker. He doesn't really look that different from Albert Wesker side by side. So I guess he's okay. Just like I said, a lot of these, as a matter of fact, all these people I never heard of.
Yeah, there might just be guys trying to get the opportunity to kick at that door and get that put their foot in that door. All right, we'll go to the next one. So
do you see Tom Hopper as Albert Wesker's photo?
Yeah, I see it. I mean, I don't see too big similarities, but you know, if because Tom Hopper got that jawline, that looks like, you know, because you ever heard that term before, where the more defined your jawline is, the more alpha male-ish you look. So Wesker, on the other hand, in the videos like Code Veronica, Resident Evil 1, and Resident Evil 5 especially, you know, he looked like, you know, a geek in those sunglasses. So it's kind of like, you know.
All right, and Avon Jogia, I guess the woman on his left, I guess the woman in the photo is his girlfriend or something.
Mm-hmm.
Avon Jogia on the right will play Leon S. Kennedy. And this is not a good cast. He just doesn't look like it at all.
Unless he makes his hair like Leon's in Resident Evil 4, then he'll just make it.
Yeah, I mean this is the casting decision that I would honestly have a problem with. He just does not look this part.
Hey, if you have connection, anything's possible.
And then Joe Biden will play William Birkin. That's Neil McDonough.
Joe Biden.
Seriously, when this picture comes up, tell me on the left that doesn't look like Joe Biden.
Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on, still waiting. I'm still mesmerized by the Leon Kennedy picture comparison. I'm like, what the hell? If this is worse, I can't imagine this William Birkin guy. Okay. The fuck?
I'm telling you this.
I'm seeing it now. He doesn't have the hair though. He doesn't have the hair for Willie Birkin.
He looks nothing like him.
Unless if he has blue eyes, Willie Birkin. Maybe you might get the part.
That's really easy to see. Neil McDonough should be playing a Joe Biden double. Not.
Yeah, that'd be cool to put Joe Biden into Resident Evil 2 as the mayor.
Resident Evil. Let him get eaten.
Yeah.
His IQ may actually go up.
He's the senator from Raccoon City and shit like that. And like to all my fellow Americans in Raccoon City, and he gets eaten by a zombie like an hour later. It's like, no, I'm a senator.
Hey, make him the president and let him get eaten.
Yeah, the president died in Resident Evil 6 when Leon found out about his about that matter. That sucks.
And in the original movies, Wesker took out. Wesker was like at the White House in Resident Evil 5.
Yeah, he took over the White House like that. Hell, I want to know his secret. Especially while it's intact like that. Come on.
So that's basically the whole Resident Evil cast reboot.
I see. Scrolling down a little bit. Claire, not bad looking in that picture.
That's Ali Lauder as Claire Redfield.
Right.
Chris Redfield, the original Chris Redfield. Let's see.
You can scroll down to that.
Kennedy from Retribution. The original Jill. Here's her name, Sienna Guillory.
And who's she?
She played Jill Valentine in the original Resident Evil series.
Apocalypse, right?
Yes. She's even wearing the outfit in Apocalypse. She wore the outfit you had in Resident Evil 3.
Which is the most. That's like that movie by itself in the series is the most closest, most resonated type of Resident Evil movie to the games.
Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Yeah. The rest are just like I mean, Resident Evil 1, they try to make it different, obviously, but you know. Resident Evil 2.
I like the series after Resident Evil 2. They had Jill Valentine, they had Carlos, they had Nemesis. I was like, okay, now you're giving us characters that we grew up with in the games. This is what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Roberts was the original Albert Wesker, and that's it. So I'm gonna go back to OBS.
Yeah, sure. I bet now they aged the original cast of Resident Evil series.
Yeah, but as I didn't know it was showing the original Resident Evil cast at the bottom. But now you see why I have such a huge crush on Ali Lauder when she played Claire Redfield.
Mm-hmm.
But as it's been going through, do you think the new cast is better than the old cast, or do you wish they just kept everyone that I've shown?
Well, we have to understand that the first Resident Evil movie that came out was with that Julie Malvolgich, whatever her name is.
Mila Jovovich. Yeah.
Yeah, she got older. She had a child before the sixth and last movie.
Well, the thing is, they didn't have to bring her back because she was a completely made-up character. I'm just saying,
but
I wish they brought back, but I mean, Neil McDonough, the Joe Biden lookalike.
People of Raccoon City, I am Senator Biden.
Yeah, that's true. He said it. He said when he was campaigning for president that he was running for senator, not for president.
Yes.
So.
We have to understand too. Resident Evil came. The first Resident Evil game was dated back 1997, 96. So Biden was still senator.
That, yeah, especially if you include director's cut in there.
Yeah, director's cut especially because Biden, he was senator since 1960s and not the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, so make him senator in there. Make him anything. Just let him get eaten.
And everyone will be like, yeah, Biden's dead. Revolution is coming.
Yeah.
They create a time paradox after that.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I so to put like a ending on this Resident Evil cast discussion. Really, the only character I have a problem with is Neil McDonough. He just doesn't look the part, and I don't know why they would pick. Is there really no one else in Hollywood?
It's all about connections. It's not about giving the lookalikes the opportunity. Just about giving the insiders, money that are new to the system, and that's it.
Yeah, but I mean, these people. I mean, like I said, the rest of the cast I have no problem with. I think they could pull it off. I can see like in their face when I compare who they're playing in the newer games. I can see it like in the actor and actress's face. It's like, okay, the new Claire could pull off that part. The new Jill could pull it off.
Right.
But.
Something like that first year.
But Neil McDonough, that was a dodo pick for cast.
Yeah, call him Dodo as his nickname in that movie. Dodo! Come over here! Unlock the door.
And didn't William Birkin die? Wasn't he like, did he turn into a monster and like his wife had to kill him?
No, what happened is that in the original Resident Evil 2 video game, William Birkin injected himself after being shot by Hunk and the rest of the Umbrella Underground Team Force, or whatever they call themselves. And over the last few minutes to an hour, he catch up with Hunk and the rest of the special forces, and he killed pretty much every one of them. And since then, he started to grow into a bigger monster, such and such. Claire and Leon, they try to kill him every now and then, and they met up with Annette Birkin, and she dies through the first. Okay, when you play as Leon, as in Game A is called, she dies. She dies from a collapse of debris on her head, but she survives enough to shoot Leon and Ada for Ada to fall down into this cylinder room of sorts. It's a very long way down, so she must have died instantly, right? So anyway, in Leon B, I believe, she just dies from one of the monsters, I think it was. I don't remember all the entire details. I never played it in years, but I do remember definitely that Leon A, if you want to call it that type of game, she gets hit by debris from like a collapse of the lab being self-destructed and stuff. So
okay, so yeah, so again, I'm still gonna give Resident Evil a chance. I might have to wait till like it comes out on DVD, because there's not really many movie theaters around me. I don't even know if it's gonna come out in movie theaters.
Unless you want to go
lockdown was still.
Unless you want to go to Long Island.
Huh?
Unless you want to go all the way out to Long Island where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm not going 1,000 miles to see a movie.
It has popcorn.
So does my local store.
The movie theater popcorn, not that 99-cent shit.
Hey, that microwave popcorn is really good. You just add some butter to that and.
Well, it depends on which one you get. If you get the movie theater lover's popcorn, then it's like eating the popcorn at the movie theater.
Anyway, so
excuse me, guys.
I would definitely watch the movie, but it would have to be on a movie channel, or I would have to like get the DVD or Blu-ray to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely willing to give it a chance. The person who was writing these movies said he had more stories that he wanted to explore that would take place like during Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2,
right.
Which is why these movies are happening.
Right.
So these movies, I'll give the first one a chance, and and it just looks like it looks like the one thing we definitely will get in this one is Resident Evil characters we recognize.
Yes.
At least, and so, I mean, if the reboot does happen and it gets released, like I said, I'll have to wait till it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray, but I'll definitely watch it and give my opinion whenever it does come out.
Let's hope it's better than Resident Evil from 2002, so...
Yeah, well, that Resident Evil from 2002, if you're talking about the first one.
Yes.
That one kind of grew on me. It's still not really Resident Evil, but it's still like a good action movie.
Of course, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I wish the Walking Dead TV series had as much action as that first Resident Evil movie. Walking Dead, too much talking, not enough shooting.
Yeah, I heard after season 8 or 9 it started to go way downhill. Because obviously, I heard that Rick Grimes gets separated from the group, and once that's over with, it went downhill after that.
Yeah, well, the problem was it's not even I don't remember what season I was watching. I think it was like 2 or 3, but like it was a season finale. They were like all locked up like in this they were locked up like in some basement room or something, and like the guy who owned it was like gonna blow everyone up, and like so like the people that were taking refuge in that room had to get out. And the thing is, the first time a zombie got shot at, it was 9:51. The show started at 9 p.m.
Well, it was season 1, so it has to be season 1, right?
I know. I think it was season 2 or 3. I don't remember.
It all depends on.
All I remember is it was a season finale.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously they're trying to make it a cliffhanger of sorts for every season ending. So like in season 6.
Yeah.
Season 6 would have the Negan.
The whole hour I was waiting for action, and it's just them in this room talking, and I'm just like, you know what? I watched the whole episode. I didn't see shooting till the last 10 minutes. It's not for me.
It gets better after season 3 because you meet up these people at a train station called Tremoris or something like that, and you thought that they have a refuge of meats and supplies and stuff like that, but when you meet them, they all like called cannibals and shit like that. It's kind of sick and disgusting. I ruined it for you, but something to anticipate later on as you keep watching Walking Dead on Netflix.
I'm not going to be watching it again, but
I'm up to season 8 so far, so it looks good for now.
Okay. Well, we were talking about the Nintendo Switch earlier, and Nintendo consoles.
Yeah.
Did you hear that the Nintendo Switch has reached 80 million sales worldwide?
Man, that's a lot.
And to put that in perspective, the Wii sold 102 million worldwide. So there might be more Switches sold than the original Wii.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently people love the Switch. Did you ever have any interest in getting the Switch?
I want to one day, especially with buying Mario games like Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, but it never came to my mind as a top priority. My top priority is to buy the N64 expansion pack and Urgits for PS1. So for the time being this year, if I could get Urgits before December, that'd be great. Because it's still expensive still, but it's like during Christmas it should be a little cheaper. So
you would hope at least, even if you have to get like an old Switch.
I could buy a brand new
model, an old model. Let me rephrase that: an old model Switch.
Well, I could buy a brand new one for $300 without too many problems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really want a brand new Switch.
Okay. Like I said, there's just not enough games for it to make it worth it, in my opinion. If I do buy any systems in the near future, it's going to be a new Xbox 360 because mine's completely dead. Okay. My current Xbox 360 makes a very good paperweight. It just doesn't read the disc anymore. Like I even have this like cleaning disc that's supposed to clean it, and it doesn't even recognize that. So like
Right.
this Xbox, yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna try to get an Xbox 360, but now I got these problems with creditors, so I have to see how
Understood.
that turns out first.
Best of luck to you.
Thanks. And the last topic for tonight is the e-commerce story. This is the very last e-commerce story I have. So just don't be surprised next week if not next week, 2 weeks from now. Don't be surprised if there's no e-commerce story. It just means I don't have any more. But they will return if something happens. When
Right.
something happens, because as long as you're selling, there's always a chance that something could happen. And when something does happen, when something does happen, I'll add it as a story from next podcast. But for now, this is the last story. It has to do with the West Side Story record, actually. Some mother was buying it for her son, so I shipped it, put up the tracking information, and I thought, okay, my part's done. It's, I even gave the woman the tracking information.
Right.
The record took a really long time making it there. Like, she contacted me like a week or 2 weeks later, and the record said it was still in transit. So she's complaining to me she's complaining to me that the record didn't make it. And the thing is, she had 2 different addresses. She had one on her Discogs profile, and another one on her PayPal profile. So I sent it to the wrong address because I trusted her PayPal address.
Right.
Now, what usually happens is this woman contacts me like 2 weeks later, and she says it's my fault the record didn't arrive. It's because I sent it to the wrong address is why it's taking so long, and she should get a refund. To show that this woman's a hypocrite. Now, eventually she just got to me so much that I just wanted to give her a refund and be done with it.
Right.
It wasn't a really big price. It was like $2. It was like a $2-3 record, and then an extra couple dollars for shipping.
That's pretty cheap.
I
You
was
should
like,
be glad that that it's still playable, right?
well, I'll get there. So, because the record, one thing she was correct about, the record never arrived, or hadn't arrived yet. So I contacted her. I just caved and gave in the $4 refund, which I'll never do again, because this wasn't my fault. And I messaged her, and I'm saying, it's not my fault that your PayPal address is wrong. Maybe you should update your info so this doesn't happen in the future. But I gave her a refund anyway. 3 days later, because I was keeping an eye on the record arrived at her home, the correct home. So I message her again. I go, now it would be wrong to keep something that you paid for that you also got a refund on. So when am I getting the money for this record, or when am I getting the record back? And of course, this woman disappeared.
How she would
didn't
disappeared?
She didn't disappear, but she never got back to me.
Okay.
So she was so quick to wag the finger at me and tell me how bad I was, but she was a big hypocrite, because when the record did arrive, she didn't give back the $4 that I gave her. And like I said, it's $4.
But by default, James,
Yes,
it can happen sometimes. Whereas like the shipping will be very late, like days, if not weeks after it's supposed to come, and it will come to your address later on. That happened to me one time, or at least a couple of times.
So from now on, unless the record makes it back to my house, no one's getting a refund because something didn't arrive.
But you have to understand too, James, the fact that there's a policy on PayPal where, not PayPal, eBay, saying that the seller, which is not your fault, and you're right, it's her fault, where you send to the PayPal address of the payment that's formatted that way from PayPal.
Yeah.
That was like the old school policy back over how many years up until recently, because now eBay took off PayPal. Now you gotta buy with credit card or some other source. So.
Well, no, you can still buy with PayPal. You just can't sell. You just can't make. You can't. You won't receive the money in your PayPal account if you sell on eBay.
So how do you get the money if you're a seller?
You have to upload your checking account information.
Oh, that's not that bad.
I don't have a checking account, so I'm never selling on eBay again. And I don't like how they screwed me on that last customer on that we talked about on the last podcast. So yeah, you know what? From that next time, the record doesn't arrive. Sorry, unless it gets sent back to me and I receive it, you're not getting a refund. And if you want Discogs to step in, good luck.
Also, James, too, here's my situation. I bought Tenchu 3 for the PS2 back like in December. I didn't get it until about like the first week of January. And the seller, I told him, is that in publicly on his rate, like, you know, rate his service, whatever. I told him that sometimes I get people looking through my mail, damaging my mail, as well as stealing my mail. And it's been like this since 2016 when I first started giving out my business cards to people in my neighborhood. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that if you put yourself out there long enough, you know, people will take advantage of you to the point that it's hard to keep track of certain things. So maybe this woman must have heard of you through your YouTube or through your Jimmy Games back 5-10 years ago. I doubt it, but it's a possibility because that happens. People will take advantage because you don't know, only because you're overwhelmed by certain activities of your business. Because I will do the same. I'm not saying I will do the same thing as myself, but it happens for the last several years now since I put myself out there as a YouTuber. So even if you're just a regular 100 subscriber, 200 subscriber YouTuber like me at the time with my gaming channel, people will still look at your content and find out who you are eventually. But especially if you give out your business cards to people who you talk to in person or over the phone or whatever. So it happens, you know.
But if you have that kind of problem, be willing to pay extra shipping. There's a shipping option where like they can't leave it at your address, and like if someone does answer the door when the postman or when the mailman comes, they have to sign something. I forgot what that option is called.
It's called signature confirmation.
Signature confirmation, okay.
There's also delivery confirmation. That's what you need, James. You need a delivery confirmation with your packages, which should be a problem, right?
Yeah, if you got a problem with that, you should opt in. You should agree to pay the seller the extra money that signature confirmation will cost, but also. Did you let her have the option? Ask for that option.
No, I'm asking you, just you put it on paper online saying that, you could use signature confirmation or delivery confirmation for an extra $2 or $5, whatever it is.
No one's ever said that, but like I figure if someone wanted to pay the extra price, they would. But you have
to put it on the listing. You have to show options for that. Because when I sell on eBay one time, or at least many times, I let the seller know, if you want to make sure it's arrived on time, please include delivery confirmation for an extra $2 or $3 at the time. It was kind of cheap to use the delivery confirmation at the time. So when it arrives at their address, the buyer, they can't tell me I didn't mail the package. That's why you barely see me send a package via media mail without no tracking information. I rarely do that.
Media mail includes tracking.
Oh, it does. Okay, because back in the 2000s, or at least the early 2010s, last time I sold something, I had to. I took a risk in selling or giving, or well, not giving, but mailing without no tracking number, and that was bad on my part because, you know, if he wasn't honest, you know, he or she, the buyer, could just accuse me of not giving them the product, you know.
Yeah, the only shipping that won't have a tracking number is like I don't know what it's called. It's kind of like letter shipment, because like what the post office will do, say like you take a game in a paper sleeve, put it in a bubble mailer, and then just seal the bubble mailer.
Right.
It's so flat it could go as a letter thing.
Okay.
And the post office will wing it up as like a letter shipping thing. It's like shipment costs like $1, but there's no tracking number. What I have to do, like when someone orders a game and I just have a plastic sleeve for the game, I have to crumple up a sheet of paper, put it in there with the game, so like there's a bulge in the bubble mailer.
You better just buy a built-in bubble.
And if there's
mailer.
a bulge, it won't. They can't send it as like that cheapest option, and therefore I will get a tracking number.
Okay, because you should buy the built-in bubble wrap inside the package. I bought about.
I do. That's what a bubble mailer is.
Oh, so you stopped using paper for the time being?
Oh no. No, I use regular bubble mailers. That's
Okay, because I bought like 20 of them for about I would say $15 to $20, just in case I want to sell something or mail something to my friends.
that's kind of expensive if you ask me, but
Well, it's like one of those special ones, the actual like thick,
oh,
like you have
so
to.
like a cardboard on the outside.
It's not cardboard per se, but it has something like essence to it, where it's like if you want to say squeeze it first, it will create a cushion effect for it. So it's not like
Okay.
it's not your ordinary cheap ass envelope. It's one of those expensive ones.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
I know it's costly in the long. It's costly in the short run, but in the long run, it will save a lot of insurance money or
Yeah.
refunds, whatever the seller accused you of. Because my first account with eBay, I had a good rating for a seller telling me I did a good job with the packaging. It was brand new. You know, it was a Fear Effect 2 game I told him about, and that's it. He got the game within a few days. I wish I could have that record on my new account, but eBay said to me that, I have too much sensitive material I want to buy and sell from eBay. Well, it's kind of strange because at the time you could buy a sword, you could buy an extended baton, you could buy
You can
whatever.
buy almost anything you want on eBay.
That at the time, this is back in 2016. I told them, but they never believed
Okay,
me.
well, I was selling by 2016
Okay.
video games.
Okay. But these were swords and stuff like that, like actual like memorabilia, collector's items, stuff like that. So
Okay.
weird though.
Anyway, so
I don't know
So,
why. I'm sorry, if I want to elaborate on more on this, I'm surprised that eBay thinks that I'm in trouble or I'm the perpetrator behind posting or collecting information on this stuff because it's on their freaking website at the time. Why would you oust me from suspend me permanently from my account, knowing that you're the ones who let it sold on the website back in 2015, 2016? It's still there to this day. My old account. They suspend me from I'm not buying or selling. So.
oh wow.
It sucks. So now I got to start from scratch because that old profile I had when I was 2003, 2004. I was like 16, 17 years old. So because at 13 years old you can start selling on eBay.
Right. Okay, so anyway, this is where we're gonna end things. This
It was
has
a good
been
podcast.
This has been episode number 14 of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. The next episode will happen in 2 weeks on February 27th.
Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, people. I hope you get
Valentine's Day for people who have dates.
Or just simple Valentine's. As long as they don't tell you that you want to go to jail after saying that, you're fine, people. It happens every time with me. I'm like, I said to my neighbor, I'm not going to mention her name because she might have heard of my podcast by now. She's in her 60s, and we would get along for the first few months of meeting each other out in our apartment complex. And I said to her, "We'd be my Valentine," and she didn't like that.
And she was in her 60s?
Something like that, at least 50s,
When how old were you at the time?
About 27, 28. I still see her every now and then.
Now I don't feel so bad.
It was a joke slash, flirt.
Because when I worked at Sloman's, there were women like in their 50s and 60s, but I still found them attractive.
Yes.
And we became friends, but I always would have been willing to take the relationship further. But, unfortunately it never happened. But, like I said, they probably wouldn't have agreed because of the age range.
And when they have sons and daughters who are around your age as well, especially. So
one did, one didn't.
All right.
So, but anyway, yeah. So tomorrow's gonna be a lonely Valentine's Day for me.
Never give up, guys. Never give up. There's always someone out there for you.
Thank you. I just hope I meet them someday.
Not on Valentine's Day, but in spirit, maybe on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Well, maybe, you know, I don't know how religious some viewers, some listeners may be, but, you know, maybe it's just not my time, especially with all these credit issues. Maybe that's why I'm not meeting anyone.
Hell, I mean, I got my own credit card issues too, but I have other things, like I can't go. I will admit that right now, it's hard to maintain a dating experience because I barely have money for it to take care of women on dates. So
I don't have too much of a problem, especially with my writing job as being as good as it has been, but it's just you know, it's just like when you got this like $80 to go here, and then Discover wants $150, and then I got another creditor that sued me a year ago. Now they're suing me again.
And now I want to break your bones and break your jaw and shit like that, right?
Anyway,
and you'd be saying to your lover, like, please, darling, help me for my debts. They're going to break my legs. And she'd be like, oh, my God, you're such a patriarchal bitch. Do something about it. Man up. And they'd be like, no. Why, darling? I loved you on Valentine's Day. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, the next episode will be in 2 weeks, and we'll see everyone then.
Bye, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day.
Good night, everyone.
Peace party. Life isn't ill the same. Try to live it and live with a